Hey y'all, welcome back. So I know we're in the midst of another series, and that video will be recorded and coming out soon. But we gotta check in on our little friend. I mean, there was an update, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, and I'll be honest, I did not watch all of it. I'll have to maybe we'll look into the future and then go back into the past with the last one if it's worth making a video over. But this one, this update right here is the karma that I think that all these racists have been looking for. So, without further ado, I'm gonna show y'all my little copyright disclaimer, and we're gonna get right into the video.
Listen, guys, Chud's in jail. The charges are serious. The judge is already watching what we're doing. So I've got a couple of rules that I need to lay. All rise for the Chud the Builder support meeting. Now listen, guys, Chud's in jail. The charges are serious. The judge is already watching what we're doing. So I've got a couple of rules that I need to lay down right now so that we can do whatever we need to do to support our boy Chud. The plan is really simple. Don't threaten anybody. Don't harass anybody. Don't turn this into a culture war. Don't make content around the court case and all this stuff. And whatever you do, don't attack the judge. Capiche?
All right, take him into custody. Told you, sir, you did not have a speeding role today. You decided that you wanted one for whatever reason. I don't know why, but take him into custody.
Sorry, let's go back a little.
But take him into custody.
Tennessee justice system has created and perpetuated insane levels of violence through judges like Judge Blackburn, whose racist rulings allow violent black criminals to run rampant. Racist rulings allow violent. So what's racist about the rulings? If so, the black people are not being persecuted, so that's racism towards white people somehow? Is that what the okay. 'Cause, and that's the thing too. What crime are we referring to exactly? What are we doing to y'all? Like, I understand that we hurt our own communities. I do understand that. As a black person, I'm not gonna act like I'm blind to that. We are our own biggest downfall. But what are we doing to you? What are we doing to harm you specifically? I just would like to really understand where the beef is coming from. What are black people doing to white people for y'all to feel so strongly against us? For y'all to just say anything, literally just saying anything. Even AI knows they're typically raised by grandparents. A lot of y'all didn't get raised like this, so I get it. What does who we're raised by have to do with you? Why do y'all want to be in our business so bad if y'all hate us so much? I,
Look, I normally would feel bad for being so redundant on this channel, but I am nothing short of elated coming to.
and I feel the same way. There was a moment where I was like, dang, we're doing a lot of Chud videos. I don't care. I love justice being served. I love it. And it doesn't happen enough in life. And people start to think, oh, bad people, they don't ever deal with consequences. Here is a prime example of how bad people will always reap what they sow.
To give you guys this news every single chance that I get. This most recent Chud the Builder update is horrible for any Chud the Builder defenders, supporters, and fans. This is arguably worse than when the judge told them, yo, we're not using any of this crowd-funded money. This is worse than when people were making up all these scenarios about, how this was self-defense. This is the worst news that Chud the Builder has gotten. Today he was in court regarding the Nashville, Tennessee situation in which he had dined and dashed and was resisting arrest from police officers. According to this last hearing, the judge ruled against the defense and their request to get this Nashville charges dropped. That means that the restaurant case is moving forward. He can't run from what he is facing. So even if something happens in the other bond case, he'll still have to be dealing with this one right here. But that's not even the worst of it all. Chud the Builder and his supporters have been running around with this gimmick for a while about how he's being unfairly treated.
You know, I spoke to Chud on the phone. He called me. I talked to him. They're basically trying to keep him in jail at any cost. Like, I don't want to get into everything that's going on because I don't want them to try to use it against him in any way. So I'm going to wait until Thursday and we're going to see what happens there. All right. But we're praying for Chud, and I have spoken to him. He's in good spirits. He's okay. He's just upset.
Not the ghetto bird. Not y'all hate white people, or not y'all hate black people, but y'all got the ghetto bird.
That because rightfully so, because they're just moving the goalposts like all the time.
What this person is referring to is the judge making it plain and crystal clear. Hey, your supporters are making this situation worse for you. Not only are they trying to spin narratives about this situation, but they're literally making threats towards the judge himself, which has to be the dumbest thing in the world. These are the same people who have been encouraging this content from Chud the Builder, and now they're acting surprised when the system sees not only him, but also the support that he has as dangerous. This update isn't just about Chud the Builder losing in court. It's Chud's entire ecosystem is making everything worse for him, and we've got to talk about it. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. It's gonna go a long way for the channel. Come along with us as we rejoice and be glad in Chud the Builder seemingly making every possible wrong decision and move that he can. Now, back into the video. I will not be intimidated by threats. Those are the words that a Tennessee judge used on Chud the Builder.
Let me make it perfectly clear. I have a sworn duty to enforce the law. I am going to perform that duty. I will not be intimidated. You can threaten whoever you want to threaten. A threat to me is a threat to the finest system of justice we've created. I'm going to do my duty. I'm going to bind all 3 cases over to the grand jury. So you all, instead of supporting this man, you all are actually putting him further into a hole. Because you're such bumbling fools that you don't understand that throwing your race, your weight, and being and harassing people gets you nowhere in life. That is not freedom of speech. But because you guys are so convoluted in your brains, you can't figure it out. It didn't work for him. That's why he's in jail. It's not going to work for you. And it's not going to work for you on behalf of him either. So maybe stop. Maybe learn a different way to like function. I would try that.
As they decided to go forward with making matters worse for Chud the Builder in these situations that he's dealing with in regards to this incident in Nashville, Tennessee. You see, back on June 17th, when they had another bond hearing, they decided that they were going to keep the bond amount the same and that they weren't going to revoke said bond. And post that situation, the judge, Melissa Blackburn, received threats all weekend long. This is a quote by her. She says, following that ruling, the court received numerous threats over the phone and on social media, Blackburn said. And I mean numerous threats. My assistant was dealing with them. You got these idiots at home talking about how Chud the Builder is just walking up to these black people on the street and they are chimping out. They're overreacting about decisions and words that are being said. But when we get in the courtroom,
What are they reacting to?
and Chud the Builder's having to face these consequences, and these are just words that are being said to and about somebody else, might I add you. You have his supporters at home doing the chimping out that they're alleging people to do. They're freaking out, they're going crazy, and now they're sending threats. Ultimately, and I do mean ultimately, making these situations worse for a Chud the Builder. Mind you, he's supposed to be building some sort of character case, promising that he's not somebody that's going to disturb the peace and is going to be a model citizen. That really does hurt when you have your idiot supporters out there in the streets going insane in the membrane on the people that are ultimately going to make these decisions. Let me make it perfectly clear. I have a sworn duty to enforce the law. I'm going to perform that duty, she said. I will not be intimidated. You can threaten whoever you want to threaten. A threat to me is a threat to the finest system of justice we've created. I'm going to do my duty. I'm going to bind all 3 cases over to the grand jury. Ether Lee's attorney, Jake Finley, asked Blackburn to allow Ether Lee to testify in support of his motion to instate bond, but Blackburn did not allow it. Going over to
And this is not a white woman being racist to a white man. That's the other thing. That first claim about, oh, she's made racist decisions. She's white. So you think that she's racist towards her own race? Interesting. Beyond that, how are you proving that what you're doing is peaceful and it's in the name of justice and it's in the name of free speech when you're behind bars and you're still wreaking havoc? So Why would any court let you out of jail when while you're in jail, you're still causing almost just as much strife and issues as you were causing outside? Y'all don't, y'all cannot have a brain bigger than the size of a walnut. You can't.
For the grand jury is not a good thing for Chud the Builder. People, do y'all understand what's going on? This judge is saying, you know, fuck all the shenanigans that you got going on. We're not playing them games. All these mind games and trickery that you're trying to play on me, I can see right through them. And it doesn't make it any better because your supporters are coming behind you and making it worse. He's in a terrible situation right now. This separation that he's been trying to do from his online personality to what the character that he's trying to paint in court is it's not going so well, because they can fight these tweets of past and old and give justification and clarification for all these things. But when in real time that stuff is spilling over into the courtroom, what else is a judge gonna think? And I know somebody would want me to give fair judgment over how the judge is proceeding in this situation. She's abusing her power, Omar. She's doing too much right now. But I genuinely, and I do mean this, genuinely do not care. I'm even
Abusing her power? How? Because she's not going to put up with threats from people that are supporting a criminal. She's abusing her power. What is she supposed to do? You think she's supposed to look at those threats and be like, oh, that's no big deal. I have it happen all the time. This is not normal. This is not, like in most scenarios, if a person wants an appeal, they would do so professionally. Their lawyer would handle it in a professional manner to represent them in that way. But y'all are beyond unprofessional. It's less than, oh, I got an email with some commas out of place, periods not in the right spots, I'm not going to let you do anything. This is, you're harassing me to get your way in this courtroom, just like you harass people on the street. So no, you're not going to continue to do that. Now you got to go to an even higher court, and you're not. That's the thing. The higher the court, the worse the charges. You're putting yourself, y'all are putting him, and he's putting himself in the worst possible position. And remember, the season finale is going to be a chimp splattered on the pavement and him walking free. Let's see how that turns out.
Under the assumption that she was being graceful, not just this judge, but the other judge that he has in this situation. But in real time, his supporters are proving that there should not be any grace that is extended to him. Your supporters are a reflection of you. So the supporters are showing in real time that, hey, these aren't just clips and stuff, lady. These aren't out of context tweets and moments. No, this is the real deal Holyfield, and we giving it to you live and in action. Mind you, his community is a monkey see, monkey do, no pun intended type of community. So they're only regurgitating the stuff that they would see from Chud the Builder. This is from the executive director of security from the restaurant in which Chud the Builder stole from. Christopher Morrison, executive director of security and loss prevention at the Omni Hotel, testified on June 25th that eventually he felt it was best for the restaurant to cut its losses and let Etherly leave early. You see, this is them giving grace to a Chud the Builder. He needed to go more than that money was worth, Morrison said. They were willing to let him slide, but he decided that he was going to try to rub their faces in it. Once out on the street, Etherly yelled racial slurs. He was arrested by a sergeant in the entertainment district unit. Etherly's case will go before a Nashville grand jury in the coming months. He is being held in the Montgomery County Jail. Y'all understand?
And this is what entitlement will do to you. You get a lifeline and you're like, man, F your lifeline. I don't need you. F you. Let me continue to do what I just did that put me in this position to begin with. Let's see how far I can take it. Let's see how far you're going to take it. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. And then when somebody does it, how could y'all? I'm such a victim. How could you do this? What are we talking about? Like, what are we doing?
Understand what this means? This means that at every twist and turn, not only were people giving Chud the Builder the grace and space to just disconnect, like, we don't want you, gang. We don't want to deal with you, the nonsense that come with you, all this other stuff like that. But then he decided to rub it in his face. And so now when he's in court trying to paint a different picture and character about himself, his audience is repeating that same cycle. They're trying to give him some sort of grace and leeway in this situation. But now his supporters are doubling and tripling down on the nonsense. Instead of making the situation better by writing character letters, doing these GoFundMes for his family, trying to make him out to be a good person, they did the exact opposite of what you should be doing for somebody in this situation.
Hey guys, I'm just leaving the courthouse where Dalton Netherly just had his court hearing with Judge Blackburn. It was Jacob Fenley did amazing. It was embarrassing to be the prosecutor. When it came time for the judge to...
And this level of delusion, this level of delusion right here the prosecutor's screwed. Sir, you just got told in court what your fans and supporters are doing is negatively impacting your case. And you're talking about the prosecutors shaking in their boots. Are you living in an alternate reality? Like, am I in the Twilight Zone right now? What are you like delusional? Genuinely copious amounts of delusion.
To make her decision, she went into victim mode, saying
Victim mode. Victim. Victim mode? Victim mode? What is victim mode? By mentioning that it is unacceptable for supporters to reach out to a court and threaten them. She's in victim mode. Y'all are victimizing this person and then saying they're in victim mode. Interesting. I wonder what kind of person that you are.
saying that she had been threatened, had all
She
these
has
threats
been
coming,
threatened.
doesn't say who.
It doesn't matter who. She doesn't need to list every person that threatened the court. It happened once is too many times. The fact that it's been numerous, she does not have to give you that information. All that needs to be said is, y'all, you, sir, are part of the problem. Y'all are making his case worse. So keep doing it, and you're going to see how far it's going to get you. And
Who doesn't say from where, just starts talking about everything besides the evidence that was just brought forth. My faith in the legal system.
talking about everything except for the evidence that was brought forth. Well, the reason that she's getting hate is because of this case. So these people being hateful is evidence in this case that this is the audience that he is curating by his behavior. You're not going to hear Bose, one of my favorite creators, for example. You're not going to hear that a bunch of bozos, because that's what we call ourselves, went out and threatened a court. So this audience is curated solely by him. These people doing this is evidence in this case. You sound stupid, sir.
System is at an all-time low. I pray I never get a judge like that.
This guy right here in this video is not only
Honestly, I pray you do get a judge like her. I pray you get I pray you get a judge that throws the book at you. And when I say the book, I mean the Bible, the dictionary, like every book, every big book, textbooks, I want them to just throw it at you. That's what I want for you. Because you sound so dumb and you're probably going to do something to get yourself in trouble because of your lack of knowledge of human decency and the law.
an ignoramus, but this is that leader of the Chud the Builder fan page that's been tweeting out these tweets that have been trying to paint these pictures about Chud, trying to skew these narratives. The one that in a couple videos ago attacked Poetic Flacco for not having any
Admits on stream that having video generating, aka yesterday I asked Poetic Flacco if a longer video of the May 13th courthouse incident exists that he bought from the person that took it.
video evidence, or at least not providing the video evidence that Flacco said that he had. You can kind of tell what type of person this is based off of the way that they talk. They're diminishing any things that Chud the Builder did, any actions that he did, and bigging him up, and everybody else is the victim, everybody else is the problem, to the tune of making up things. Remember that. And all of this framing that he's trying to do is the exact thing, and I do mean the exact thing that hurts Chud the Builder. It's a twofold type of situation. One, he is one of the more notable and credible faces that is behind this whole Chud the Builder thing, and he is leading marches and movements in attacking this judge's character.
This is a judge who just before Dalton's trial, an illegal Mexican drunk driving, got 2 months. She lectured him saying, you can't risk this, you might get deported. Giving an illegal immigrant advice how not to get imported, who just was driving on without a license, obviously, while drunk. She has the audacity.
What does that have to do with the case? You just claimed that this lady is mentioning things that don't have to do with the case. Her being threatened because Chud the Builder's in jail has nothing to do with the case. So what the fuck does this man that got let off on a DUI and did not get deported by the judge, which is not her job to deport people, what does that have to do with the case? You make a claim, this has nothing to do with this. This does have something to do with it. But then you go all far out here about somebody else that has nothing to do with you, nothing to do with this case, and you use that as an example. So I'm going to say to you what you just said about her. That's no evidence in the case. That doesn't have anything to do with the case. Let's focus on the case. Let's stop focusing on everything else and focus on the case. That, like, what? What? And again, you're still pushing your agenda. Clearly, you don't like anybody that does not look like your ugly ass. Like, come on.
Audacity to do this. It's pretty sad.
So he's
Audacity? That's what you have a lot of, sir.
sitting here attacking the credibility of the judge in question, all the while having an audience who is being radicalized by the content that he is putting out, the narratives that he's trying to spin, et cetera, et cetera. And then these same people turn around and they make it worse. They're not helping Chud the Builder. They're proving that there's this ecosystem around escalation, turning every ruling into some sort of conspiracy, turning every critic into a target. He's the same guy that attacked that city council guy as well. They're making this whole thing worse. Mind you, we got to remember the brand of Chud the Builder is provoke people, create enemies, make the audience feel like confrontation, and every confrontation is some sort of war, and then you monetize the chaos. Chud the Builder's been doing that for quite some time now. So even when he's locked behind bars, they're running with that same exact narrative. Literally, Chud the Builder could be free, or at least in some sort of better legal situation. But the same audience that encouraged the content is now helping create this image that the court is punishing in real time. Chud supporters think that they are defending him, but in reality, they're giving a live demonstration as to why the court should not trust him or anybody around him and any word that they have to say about all this.
Hey, you motherfucking know it. I don't give a fuck. Whatever you talk about the motherfucking lie. Hey, you know it. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Chimp it out, man. Low impulse control. This is the reason why Austin Metcalf is dead. Because this is a response that is told. This is a response they teach their young people to have. This is a response that the mothers, the black mothers in this community does not teach its people to respect personal boundaries.
White lives matter. Stop. Stop! I might have to end the video right now because please stop. Do not get me wrong. Clearly, I don't think that in most situations people deserve to pass away. But we are not going to sit here and act like there needs to be a movement for white lives mattering in America, in this country. We're not going to sit here and do that. As if white people are getting killed by the police. As if white people are experiencing amounts of racism that are unprecedented, especially under this current administration. We are not going to sit here and act like white people are victims. I'm not doing that on this channel. You have to be fucking kidding me. Like,
To talk with respect, and that's why Austin Metcalf said, because of your failure as black parents. Melo Anthony should be swinging.
because of your failure as black parents.
From a tree outside this courthouse.
Think about all the people that
Hanging from a tree outside of the courthouse. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness.
have been stepping up for Chud the Builder in this time of need for the great white hope, right? The great advocate of free speech. We have, on one hand, a guy like Jake Lang, who is a known provocateur, known antagonizer. Hell, already been in these Tennessee courts, getting taken out in handcuffs by police officers outside of that same courtroom, yelling and screaming. Then goes down to the Carmelo Anthony trial and antagonizes and gets arrested for inciting some sort of violence toward Carmelo Anthony and the family and stuff like that. Then you have that pred catching guy who took the stand saying that he would, defend and put money up for Chud the Builder.
You would never say the N-word in the Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania. Well, you're wrong.
Needless to say, this guy is an online racist in his own right. Somebody who, if you were trying to prove that you weren't some sort of actual racist and you were just a free speech advocate, would probably not be the guy that you would want supporting you. And then you have his main supporter guy, his main person, the guy that just came out the courthouse, antagonizing and sending people at city officials, most notably the judge's office, in order to send them threats or discredit them and other things. This is the ecosystem and the figures that support Chud the Builder. People who have built platforms on being aggressive, inflammatory, and confrontational. And their audience rewards it. They encourage it, right? The clips are being spread, the shock is there, the anger is there, everybody is entertained because of it. But then the second that a legal system responds seriously in any way, shape, form, or fashion, everyone pretends that, hey man, this is just a joke. It shouldn't be taken this seriously. Why are people going crazy? This is in the world. And that's Chud the Builder. Not only is it making himself look worse in the court's eyes, he also can't get the truck. He can't get public safety concern. And all the while, there is only one person that is suffering behind all the nonsense that his supporters are putting out there in the world. And that's Chud the Builder. Not only is it making himself look worse in the court's eyes, he also can't get the truck. He can't get to the funds in the GoFundMe because of it. Remember, that's the reason why I couldn't tap into those GoFundMe funds, is because there was a question about the legitimacy of where these things were coming from. But I can almost promise you, if they weren't backed by these online racists, the judge would have no problem with it. But alas, it's not. And so now Chud the Builder sits in the literal worst case scenario where the judge is not only judging the action that he's done, whether it be in Nashville or the other county in Tennessee, which he shot a man in front of a courthouse, which for what it's worth, he was gonna get packed up for that either way. But now, in my opinion, it's a little bit slanted, right? They're looking at the entire online social media presence and saying, yo, buddy, you're an idiot, and we're gonna pack you up for it. Chud's biggest problem is not the charges, right? I think that he could either get them lowered or looked at in a different light if it was just him and his defense attorney. But now, because of the people behind him confirming the image that is being painted by the prosecution and not just Chud the Builder, he's got a tough road ahead. It's almost like he's swimming upstream to try to get to the next piece of land so he can get out of this river, and simultaneously his supporters are swimming downstream, right, tied to him. And so he's having a hard time getting forward, gaining any sort of momentum. He needed the court to see the distance between the content and the real world. But the shooting in itself, that erased any distance that was there. Him running out on a bill and yelling racial slurs is erasing more distance. And if there was any distance left, his supporters are doing a piss poor job in wiping it clean away. Do I have any sympathy at all? No. This is the same audience that was rewarding said escalation. These were just dogs, right? These were his boys in the pound that supported all the nonsense. And they're still in it, right? They're still in the fight with him. So while Chud may want you guys to shut up, no. I say don't shut up. I say stand 10 toes with Chud the Builder in his time in need and double and triple down. If you change stances now, well, that really shows that you guys were soft, right? So I say quadruple down in your efforts. Go to that judge and say some things, right? Discredit her. Discredit anybody that's involved, you know, and then live with the outcomes. While Chud the Builder sits behind closed bars and is locked away for a good majority of his natural born life, it'll be okay though, because you advocated for him. You dumbasses. Y'all are so dumb. Y'all are so dumb for attacking Flacco, thinking that it was going to end up better for you. They're looking at all this shit now. Hey, these guys are idiots. They're dumb guys. They're dumb.
Mackenzie.
Yeah, I want y'all to keep it up, please. Please continue to make that man's life harder than it has ever been, as y'all have done up until this point. Make it harder, just like he's been making it harder for himself, because that's what he and y'all all deserve. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.